Okay guys, let's go over branding. First of all, why do we want to build a brand? Let's look at the 4 Dummies series. They can literally put any book under this umbrella of their brand. Here it is, Sex for Dummies, 3rd edition. And if you look at the titles here at the menu, it's literally hundreds of books. As long as your brand works, you can put many, many books of different genres underneath the umbrella of your brand. What is a brand? A brand is your reason for existence, which is a scary question if you think about it. Imagine someone coming to you and saying, what's your reason for existence on this planet? It can't just be, I like to make money and eat. So, is what you are doing worthwhile to you? Is it truly worthwhile? It will be worthwhile to other people. So, when we brainstorm your brand, we say you must love what you are doing. If you love what you're doing and you imprint that and at the core of your brand, you will stay motivated and keep going under all conditions. So we use extreme questions when building a brand, which is, would you die for your brand? Would you die for your brand? That question sounds crazy, but if your brand is all about family and keeping families together, the question becomes, would you die for your family? Now the question begins to make sense. Now, with Nike, a brand known in every country on the planet, what is Nike's reason for existence? In the fewest word possible, we help you win. We help you win, which is very inspiring. Now, if you go back to the founding of Nike, they chose the Greek goddess Nike, the goddess of victory, as their name. She was literally the chariot driver, the charioteer for Zeus in the battle against the Titans. So she could have turned to Zeus and said, I help you win, stating her reason for existence. And also, as you can see, she's winged. She's the winged goddess of victory. And in Nike's logo, there's a wing that swooshes a wing. So you can see this brand is pretty well thought out. So let's say you have a cookbook and you decide, I'm going to remake this cookbook. I'm going to build it into a brand. In between recipes, I'm going to insert stories about family. The day my dad saved my life, the most inspiring words my mom ever told me. Things that I've done for my son that changed his life. So now we're going to make this all about family. You retitle your books and you say, okay, I'm going to start titling them things like barbecue recipes my dad loves, my son loves, my mom loves. So you're going to reflect everything about the core reason for existence of the brand in the brand. What's the reason for existence in this brand? We bring families together. Very inspiring. If you want to learn about branding in 6 minutes and 55 seconds, Steve Jobs goes to the heart and soul of it right in this video. It's amazing. He talks about Apple's core values, and one of them is people can change the world and make it a better place. So if you sum up Apple's reason for existence, it could be, we make tools for people who change the world, or we make tools for artists. Great video. Now, going back to Nike, a brand can stand alone, a brand can be a person, or it can be both. So if we look at Nike, most people don't know who's behind this brand. How did it come into existence? Well, it's Phil Knight. He's the co-founder. And his story is very inspiring. He actually sold Nike shoes, sneakers, out of the trunk of his car. He would drive from track meet to track meet and open the trunk and say, I have something great for you. It's going to help you win. He started with his coach, by the way, so really great story. Richard Branson stands on his own as a brand in and of himself, even though his brand also is established and worldwide and stands on its own. So it's both, because he's kind of a swashbuckler and adventurer. He circumnavigated the globe in a high-altitude balloon and many other adventures. So when you see him, you know who he is, but when you see the Virgin logo, you know who that is too. So it's both. Now, Amanda is a person and a brand. The brand is inside the person. One of the aspects of her brand is she's a true fan. She loves pop culture, and she She lives and breathes it. That's why she's writing. It's not just to make money. She loves it. And you can even see that in these pictures. Here she's wearing a shirt. I think it's Space Invaders. It's one of the early video games. I mean, she lives and breathes pop culture, and she keeps her books at fan prices, $2.99. And on her blog, she talks about that. She says, I price my books low because that's all I could afford back when I was a fan, before I was famous. The second aspect of her brand is rags to riches. An ordinary person becomes, now lives in the stratosphere, is a success beyond the lottery. Those are some of the aspects, but the person is the brand in that case. Now, here's Simon Sinek, who's a branding expert, his website, and here's his golden circle. He's famous for the phrase, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So if you're faced with the choice between two smartphones, why did you buy the iPhone? You bought the iPhone because you believe in the Apple brand, the story, the myth that we can change this world. Now, myth doesn't mean lie, by the way. It means a story you believe in or disbelieve in. Just like Nike, she's literally from the Greek myths, and she's at the center of a global brand. Here's Simon's book, Start With Why. Very much worth getting. Let's finish up on minimum viable product and apply it to Kindle. What is it? A minimum viable product has just those features that allow the product to be deployed and no more. So you want the core of your brand in your minimum viable product. Now, Neil Patel talks about Virgin when they only had one plane. And this is their minimum product. You need one plane. You don't need 30 to start. You need one. If you make the one jet work, you can build it at 30 or 50. No problem. And the idea of the brand was, let's make flying luxurious and special and hip and amazing like it was in the early days of flight. In the early days of flight, you must have felt like a hero getting on a jet, because most humans never did. It was some miracle thing. And it worked. So how do we apply that to Kindle? The Portal book. A simple 30-page book that contains your brand. Your brand must be right on the cover. The example of the family cookbook, barbecue recipes my dad loves, and the picture of a tough-looking guy eating a steak sandwich, happy. If your minimum viable product works, everything will work. You can put 100 books in the series, they're all going to work. That's where the Portal book comes in.